As a show with a gentle form of humor and valuable lessons, the program had a long 8-year stay in American television history. There are a few memorable characters, including Barney Fife, played by Don Knotts, an endearing but inept deputy. Knotts' interactions with Griffith's character were funny and one of the program's highlights, earning him 5 Emmys. After 5 seasons, he was fired to take on other movie roles. Nonetheless, his depiction of Barney Fife is one of the most memorable in television history. This was evident from the top 10 Nielsen ratings the show boasted throughout its run, and it ended up at number 1 in 1968 when it went off the air. It largely influenced American culture through the creation of Gomer Pyle, USMC, and Mayberry RFD, and it continued to give audiences timelessly enjoyable entertainment as a rerun series. The cast, including Griffith, Howard, Knotts, and Frances Bavier, who played Aunt Bee, contributed immensely to the show's success. In contrast, Ron Howard's experiences on the show would determine his future in Hollywood. The Andy Griffith Show was an opportunity for Ron Howard to grow as an actor and find a new stage in his career. Landing the role of Opie Taylor, the boy next door and happy-go-lucky son of Sheriff Andy Taylor, Howard was only 6 years old when he was cast on the program. In no time, he captured the audience's imagination with his curiosity and penchant for warmth. His first role was a great success with viewers, setting a good start for him to become one of the most famous directors in Hollywood. Fortunately, the series had veteran actors like Andy Griffith and Don Knotts who adopted Howard into the show. They escorted him through the shoot, with Griffith being very influential in Howard's life on and off camera, tutoring the kid like a father and teaching him the principles of decency and perseverance. While filming, Howard liked the presence of coworkers, but it was challenging to be an actor, a student, and a child at the same time. Nevertheless, these early experiences helped shape the resilient and dedicated professional he would later become. Despite all the fame, Howard was still just a kid trying to fit in, and his peers often teased him about his role as Opie. He later admitted that although he loved acting, he sometimes struggled with the attention it brought. The show came with several opportunities and, at the same time, presented a rather complicated experience since there were children acting on camera. A memorable moment occurred during the filming of the opening credits when Opie throws a rock into the lake. Young Howard couldn't toss it far enough to make the splash needed for the shot, so a crew member would throw another rock simultaneously to ensure the splash aligned with Opie's throw. This small trick became a sweet memory for Howard, capturing both the pressure and charm of his early career. The experience he gained on the Andy Griffith Show proved foundational, teaching him the value of collaboration, patience, and resilience, not only as an actor, but as a person. Howard's childhood years on set offered a first-hand view of successful television production, giving him a sharp start in understanding the dynamics behind the scenes. By the time the show ended in 1968, Howard had transformed from a precocious child actor into a seasoned performer, well prepared for the extraordinary career that lay ahead. On screen, the Andy Griffith Show radiated small-town warmth, but off-screen, things were sometimes less harmonious. Andy Griffith, known for his calm and easygoing character, occasionally showed a different side, sometimes letting loose with light-hearted pranks that didn't always sit well with others. Everyone on the Andy Griffith Show had their own experiences, and Frances Bavier, who played Aunt Bee, had a notably complex relationship with Griffith. A seasoned Broadway actress, she reportedly found Griffith's playful antics distracting and unprofessional, leading to occasional clashes between the two. Griffith wasn't the only one stirring up mixed feelings on set. While Don Knotts and Griffith remained lifelong friends, there were moments of tension, particularly about the show's future direction. Knotts had originally signed on for just 5 seasons with plans for other projects once his contract ended. However, as the show continued, both felt a bit disappointed that Knotts couldn't play a larger role in shaping the show's trajectory. Despite these issues, Griffith's practical jokes became part of the set's culture. One of his favorite targets was Knotts himself. He would often wake him from naps by dropping metal film cans to startle him. Though surprised, Knotts took it in stride, and the two developed a strong bond, creating an on-screen duo that fans adored and could sense was genuine. Even George Goober Lindsay wasn't spared from Griffith's pranks, once waking from a nap to find duck guts strung around his dressing room. Though all in good fun, Griffith's pranks sometimes clashed with serious cast members like Frances Bavier. A New York-trained actress, she didn't appreciate his laid-back, small-town style of comedy. Off-screen, their dynamic was far more complicated than it appeared on camera. Yet, they both maintained professionalism while filming, ensuring that their differences didn't affect their work. Later in life, Bavier offered a heartfelt apology to Griffith, recognizing her role in their tension and seeking to make peace. Ultimately, the cast's professionalism triumphed over any off-screen issues. Nevertheless, with some jolts of humor and protests, they helped develop one of the most beloved television shows that is appreciated today. The relationships within the show bring up the difficulties of being employed in such an environment. However, the actor's passion can be seen regardless of personal conflicts. However, Griffith's friendship with Don Knotts was one of the most valuable relationships in his life and acting career. They were funny together, both very quick-witted, and developed great on-screen chemistry, which formed the basis of the show. Off-camera, they remained friends even when Knotts decided to exit the show in 1965. Griffith was deeply affected by Knotts' departure but realized that the show was never as good as it was with him. They remained friends until Knotts died in 2006, which indicates the true extent of their friendship. To honor him, the people of Morgantown started a campaign to erect a statue of Knotts at the Metropolitan Theater in downtown Morgantown. This statue, created by local artist Jamie Lester, was installed in 2016 and remains a kind tribute to Knotts' tremendous legacy. Finally, while Griffith could argue and fight with cast members now and then, he was the core of the Andy Griffith Show, forging more than mere professional ties to create the essence of the show's on-screen teamwork and guarantee its success. His guidance in working with Ron Howard and his deep friendship with Don Knotts became the basis of not only the program's appeal, but also a part of television history itself. And in the years that followed, as audiences rewatched the classic show, the behind-the-scenes stories continued to grow in fascination. Fans learned how this calm, idealized version of Americana was built upon a set full of quirks, rivalries, and genuine connections, human elements that ultimately made the magic possible. The legacy of the show extended beyond television into American culture itself, inspiring community values and reminding viewers of the power of kindness, patience, and forgiveness. Ron Howard, as he matured into a visionary director, often reflected on his time in Mayberry. He acknowledged that the lessons taught by Andy Griffith were not just about acting but about life, how to lead with integrity, how to be generous with one's time, and how to carry oneself through both success and failure. Andy Griffith had that rare gift of making people around him feel seen, valued, and heard. His leadership style set a tone that carried the show forward and became a standard by which others in the industry measured themselves. Whether in front of the camera or behind it, Griffith's influence shaped careers and lives. In more recent years, documentaries and retrospectives have examined the show's impact, not only on pop culture but also on the personal journeys of those involved. Fans gained new appreciation for Frances Bavier, whose portrayal of Aunt Bee became an iconic archetype of the American matriarch despite the friction off-screen. Likewise, Don Knotts' comedic brilliance continues to be studied in acting schools, with his unique brand of vulnerability and panic-stricken energy becoming a hallmark in TV comedy. Griffith's portrayal of Andy Taylor is still seen as one of the most balanced and nuanced performances of the era, combining wit, wisdom, and understated authority. The longevity of the Andy Griffith Show speaks volumes about the chemistry among the cast and the writing that captured a nation's longing for simpler times. Though tensions existed, they were often tempered by mutual respect and the shared goal of creating something meaningful. This balance of light-hearted storytelling and deep-rooted character dynamics has ensured the show remains relevant. Reunions, interviews, and tributes have only added more layers to the show's history, each memory shared by cast or crew reinforcing the idea that while Mayberry was fictional, the relationships and memories. Ron Howard, once the bright-eyed Opie Taylor, has finally broken his silence, revealing an untold truth that has left fans absolutely stunned. What could be so shocking that it remained a secret for all these years? Was it a hidden conflict with a beloved co-star? A behind-the-scenes moment that changed his career forever? Or perhaps a revelation about his deep ties to someone we never saw coming? One thing's for sure, this bombshell will forever change. The Andy Griffith Show was a television gem that brought the fictional town of Mayberry to life. Premiering in 1960, the show captured the hearts of millions with its timeless charm, centering around Sheriff Andy Taylor and his young son Opie, played by a young Ron Howard. The show wasn't just entertainment, it was a cultural phenomenon, with gentle humor and moral values that resonated across generations. It became a staple of American television. However, behind the heartwarming scenes, there was more to the show than met the eye. While audiences adored the friendly Mayberry atmosphere, off-screen moments hinted at tension and struggles, especially for Ron Howard. Ron began his journey in Hollywood as the sweet and mischievous Opie Taylor, a role he took on at just 6 years old. With his natural talent and boyish charm, he quickly became a household favorite. But being a child star came with unique pressures. Managing fame, studies, and the expectations of fans weighed heavily on him. He sometimes felt caught between his love for acting and his desire for a normal childhood. As Ron grew older, he started to share that while he enjoyed the experience, the constant spotlight could feel overwhelming. It wasn't just about remembering lines and delivering performances, it was about living under the scrutiny of fame, even when he just wanted to be a regular kid. The weight of these expectations sparked a complicated relationship with his fame, one he kept private for years. The atmosphere on the Andy Griffith Show set was a blend of laughter and tension. Andy Griffith, known for his easygoing nature, often lightened the mood with his famous pranks. He would playfully wake up Don Knotts from naps with loud noises or surprise George Lindsay with outlandish stunts. For Griffith and many cast members, these pranks kept morale high and brought laughter to long filming days. However, not everyone was on board with Griffith's humor. Frances Bavier, who played Aunt Bee, preferred a more serious, professional environment. She sometimes found Griffith's jokes disruptive, which led to occasional tension between them. Despite these differences, Bavier and Griffith kept things professional for the cameras, creating the show's beloved family atmosphere, even if behind the scenes there were mixed emotions. Young Ron observed these dynamics, learning early on about the complexity of adult relationships and the sometimes challenging balance between personal feelings and professionalism. While many cast members grew close, tensions were also part of life on set. Frances Bavier and Andy Griffith, despite their iconic on-screen chemistry, had a rocky relationship off-screen. Bavier's more serious approach clashed with Griffith's playful side, and their interactions sometimes turned icy. Years later, however, Bavier took a surprising step. She reached out to Griffith to apologize for their strained relationship during their time on the show. This unexpected gesture of reconciliation left a lasting impact on those who knew about it. For young Ron, witnessing this reconciliation highlighted the power of forgiveness and humility. Despite the difficulties, both Griffith and Bavier set aside personal differences to deliver an unforgettable show. This experience showed Ron that even in challenging relationships, there can be room for understanding. His time on the Andy Griffith Show shaped him in ways few could see at the time. While he appeared to embrace the attention and adoration from fans, it also became a source of inner conflict. As much as he loved acting, he sometimes struggled with the constant attention that followed him, even off set, where classmates and peers teased him for being Opie. While most people thought he was living a dream, Ron often felt isolated. Later in life, Ron would reveal that the pressures of being a child star were more intense than he let on. His frustration wasn't with any of his co-stars but rather with the loss of a typical childhood. This experience left a lasting mark, teaching him valuable lessons about privacy, balance, and self-preservation. Despite the challenges, Ron formed meaningful connections with his co-stars. Andy Griffith became a mentor to him, offering wisdom and guidance both on and off the set. This bond mirrored their on-screen father-son relationship, giving Ron a source of support during his years on the show. Griffith taught him lessons in humility, dedication, and the importance of staying grounded, values that would follow Ron throughout his life. Similarly, Ron shared a special friendship with Don Knotts, who brought humor and lightness to his experience on set. Knotts' playful personality and knack for making Ron laugh helped ease the tension of long filming days, adding a touch of joy to an otherwise demanding environment. These relationships became a foundation for Ron, shaping his values and grounding him as he moved forward in his career. After the Andy Griffith Show ended in 1968, Ron didn't step away from the spotlight. He went on to star in Happy Days, where he continued to build his reputation as a talented actor. But Ron had other ambitions. He dreamed of stepping behind the camera as a director. After Happy Days, he took the leap, and his first major film, Grand Theft Auto, launched a directing career that would change Hollywood. With films like Apollo 13, A Beautiful Mind, and The Da Vinci Code, Ron established himself as one of Hollywood's most respected directors. His experiences on The Andy Griffith Show taught him about the importance of resilience, teamwork, and storytelling, lessons that shaped his directing style and contributed to his success. The cast of The Andy Griffith Show left a lasting legacy not only for their performances but also for the life lessons they passed on. The show's charm and moral teachings are timeless, but it's the behind-the-scenes stories of resilience, forgiveness, and friendship that truly make it unforgettable. For Ron, the journey wasn't always easy, but it gave him the foundation for a lifelong career in entertainment. So, what do you think about Ron's journey from child star to legendary director? Drop a comment below with your favorite Ron Howard project, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories like this one.